When people talk about the future of cities, the conversation usually centers around new developments, iconic towers, next-generation infrastructure. But increasingly, some of the most important work is happening inside buildings that already exist. Across the world, building owners are facing growing pressure to modernize assets, improve sustainability, adapt to changing market demands, and extend building life cycles. At the same time, replacing existing buildings isn't always economically viable or environmentally responsible. So, how do owners make smarter decisions about repair, strengthening, and preservation? Well, joining me today is Jeremy Oshimbu, Business Development Manager for Repair and Preservation at VSL Middle East. Jeremy, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, Jemana, for having me today.
Jeremy, let's start with the bigger picture. When thinking about real estate value today, the focus usually turns to acquisition, development, and construction. So what do we need to keep in mind in terms of, existing buildings today? How should we think differently about existing buildings today?
Nowadays, conserving or increasing the value of an asset has a lot to do with future-proofing it against new standards, making sure that the asset which is aging is maintained properly and will keep value over time. Developer, along with architects, they have a clear idea and clear plans about what they want to achieve. And today the focus is really much on the user experience, on what the people will feel when they enter in a shopping mall, in a building, in offices. In Europe, the main focus is how to improve the efficiency of the building. In the Middle East, there is a strong focus on the user experience in addition to that. So we see in the last few years, we've been involved in a number of refurbishment projects, old shopping malls, which needed to be reinvented to improve the user experience, because for them it's critical. They need to differentiate themselves, they need to improve the accessibility, the shop layouts, and so on. And the backbone of that is really the structure. What VSL brings to the table is really to provide most efficient design to be executed in a very restrictive area, because we are in an operational environment. We need to disrupt the least possible tenants, users, and all this needs to blend seamlessly in the operations of the shopping mall.
When it comes to design and build, what makes this approach particularly relevant when it comes to repairing and strengthening existing buildings? And how does this approach create value for building owners and investors?
When dealing with an existing asset, you are not starting from a blank page. There are some as-built which may be incomplete, you may have a hidden defect, and all these components can be surprises, the execution of the work. If the design and execution are separated, it may create friction. The design is based on assumptions. Most of the time, these assumptions are verified or not only when you start opening up the structure. With a design and build approach, we will be looking at the exact constraints, and it will be really a conversation with the asset owners. We're able to plan ahead, localize strengthening, and really target the right solution for the right issue we want to tackle. For the client, it's key because it will save in time, because his project will run faster. We'll be able to minimize disruptions with alternative design that really tackle all aspects of the project cycle.
Many existing buildings are actually no longer compliant with today's standards. So how would you approach to upgrading them?
When you're asset owners to keep up with these standards, what we typically do is to have an in-depth inspection, understanding what are the defects. Some of them may be hidden, and that's really important to understand the root cause of the problem the structure is having. For instance, leaking basements. It's a common issue that we have in Dubai and in Abu Dhabi as well. And it can come from several root causes. It can be a waterproofing failure. It can be caused by deterioration of the concrete structure. And therefore, addressing these elements help you understand the root cause and define the right solution to it.
When it comes to aging structures, what are the most common issues you encounter, and how much can repair actually extend the building's life?
The most common problem we face in the region is corrosion. Mainly the corrosion comes from the groundwater, which is highly concentrated in chloride, and this triggers the corrosion. Over time, it has really a disastrous effect on the structure. What starts by just a crack can lead to a structural failure later on. So it's really how early you catch these issues. We are using a certain numbers of inspection techniques to assess the condition of the structure and to quantify and qualify these defects. If you notice a problem through your routine inspection, you are able to act early enough and before the damages become a real problem. In terms of lifespan, well-designed repair and preservation strategy can typically extend by 10 or 20 years the service life of the building, or more, depending on the strategy and the conditions.
And how would you say technology is changing the way, repair and strengthening projects are delivered?
New technologies help a lot in treating data. With the old way of inspecting assets, you're collecting massive amount of data, but then it's time consuming and a lot of effort to treat this data. So with AI, with the help of AI and with new technologies, you're able not only to collect higher quality data, but also to process them in a more efficient way. So the result is you improve the quality of your deliverables to the client, and therefore the utilization of this data can really serve the purpose and really impact the decision making for the client. We are always trying to develop new materials and keen to use the latest technology in that regards. For example, VSL memory steel is a great way to reintroduce pre-stressing forces in a structure in a very efficient way and bringing cost saving to the client.
Here in the Middle East, the focus in past decades has been on building new, right? Are you seeing any growing shift in mindset towards preservation of buildings and extending the life cycle of existing buildings?
Yes, definitely. And I could see a clear change in mindset. And this comes from asset owners, but also authorities who are putting a lot of effort into looking back and say, oh, we've been busy building, but what do we do with our asset portfolio? How do we maintain them? And how are we making sure that these remain operational? Across the last years, it shifted from a reactive approach to a proactive approach. I believe they are more and more concerned on how to make the most of their structure and how to keep the reputation and the highest level of standards for their assets.
And Jeremy, if there was one message that you would want building asset owners and investors to take away from this very insightful conversation, what would that be?
If there is one message, it's this, is be proactive and not reactive. Taken early on, issues can be treated very easily and with least disruptions to the operations, and of course with a much lesser cost. In many cases, it's not only building something new, but it's also making the most of what you have already.
Well, thank you so much, Jeremy, for sharing your perspectives and insights with us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jomana.